Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video we're going to be doing my March plan with me. I have a really cool theme for this month and I'm going to talk a little bit about it later and how I thought of it. And right before we get started, I just want to make a quick announcement. Since I've been posting on TikTok the past few months, a lot of people have been asking me to make printable or digital versions of my journal. And so I have made two versions of a March printable, which are from March 2022 and March 2021 from my bullet journal. So if you've seen any of my bullet journal videos, those exact spreads are now available in my Etsy shop. You can download them and use them digitally on an iPad or on your computer, or you can print them out and put them into a binder or a notebook or something like that and fill them out that way. And I just wanted to let you know that those are available now. I'm going to try and get the spreads that you see in this video up before the beginning of March so that you can do this one with me as well if you'd like. But yeah, I'm so excited about that. I hope you guys go check it out. And now let's get into planning. Hey guys, so I am starting to work on my bullet journal theme. Can you hear my computer right now? She is huffing and puffing. But literally my computer will do this. I just have Google Chrome open. Like I literally don't have a single other app open on my computer. And she's like panting. A couple weeks ago, I was doing a TikTok live and asking if people had any ideas for journal themes. So I said if anyone submitted like some good ones, then I would add it to my list. And one person said I should do a theme based on Daisy Jones and the Six. If you don't know, Daisy Jones and the Six is a book by an author named Taylor Jenkins Reid. It came out a few years ago, and Daisy Jones is like probably my favorite book that I've ever read. I mean, I knew that I was going to love it because it does take place in the 70s, which is like my favorite time period, my favorite era of fashion, of music, of, you know, illustration and design and stuff. So I absolutely loved reading that book. And they announced a while ago that they're turning it into a TV miniseries. And so on my TikTok live, we were just like chatting about the show and about the book because a lot of people on there had read it before. I'm so freaking excited for the show. I literally cried looking at the teaser trailer that they posted, and like I follow them on Instagram now, and every time they post a picture I like freak out about it. I'm so excited. When we were on the TikTok live, I was like, oh, maybe that would be a good theme to do like whenever the show comes out, but I didn't think about when it comes out, and I just looked it up. It comes out on March 3rd. That's the first episode. So I'm like, okay, this is the time to do this theme if I'm going to do it. So I think I'm gonna like head over to Pinterest and see if I find any like inspirational images that also just like evoke the feeling of the show, because it's just like, you know, like sex, drugs, and rock and roll in the 70s. Like that's just like what the show and the book are about. So I'm thinking about this, and I love so many of these pictures, like some of these like teaser pictures from the show, and I feel like it would be really cute to do like a collage kind of theme. But the only printer that I currently have access to is black and white printer. And I don't think that a lot of these things would look good if it was just black and white. So I think I am still going to try and do an illustrative theme. So after I pinned a bunch of pictures from the actual show, like the teaser photos and the posters and stuff like that, I just started searching for other like related things. So if you didn't know, the story of the band in the book and the show are based, it's like loosely based on Fleetwood Mac, which I hope that you know who they are, but if you don't, that's a real life band from the 70s. I don't know how old people are that like watch my videos, so I hope that you know who Fleetwood Mac is. And if you don't, it's a great band. You should go listen to their songs. But so I started looking up some Fleetwood Mac posters and other just like 70s era bands like Simon and Garfunkel, a couple of other ones that I pinned on here, Pink Floyd. Really like this one. I like that it's simple color scheme. I love this like illustrative style. Sometimes struggle with, I was gonna say humanity. I'm not always good at translating a person's like real face into a very simplistic style like this. Like I've heard people talk about this before. A lot of artists say that like anytime you draw a person, they just end up looking like you, and that's so freaking true. I feel like every time I draw a person, even if I'm specifically trying to draw someone else, something about their face just ends up looking like my face. You know so well what your own face looks like. Anyone else's face is not as familiar to you as your own. I could try really hard to make it look like the characters or the actors for the show, but also I'm like, since they are originally book characters, it doesn't really matter if they look like them, right? Because they could just still like be my interpretation of what the character looks like, right? Okay, I feel like more comfortable with this idea then. I do know that I want to use that text from the show, like the logo for the band in the show is so cute. It's like a beautiful 70s curly font. I love it. I'm like excited now. I always like get stressed because, especially now that I'm like more into sharing what I do on social media, sometimes I'm like, I have to top what I did last month or whatever. And that's a dumb thing to think because you don't have to, and making anything is good. I really love the theme that I did last month. If you didn't see my video, go check it out. I did a whole video on making that and posted a bunch of pictures on TikTok and Instagram. Anytime I make something really good, the next month it's like, oh, I have to think of something really good. Anyway, bye. And then I just started doing my little sketch. I say little, but this probably took me about an hour, maybe a little bit longer, but it looks so much more satisfying when I speed it up like this. It's a few hours later. I did the sketch. I always feel like sketching is the most interesting part of all of this because that's like me actually executing the ideas. Sometimes when I film it, especially depending on the lighting, I feel like I need to figure out what the lighting is to do this. But I feel like you can't see it. So I'm like, that's like the most boring thing, even though that's like actually the most interesting part of the process for me. This is a sketch that I did. It was inspired by that Fleetwood Mac poster that I showed earlier. And I think I am going to do kind of, at least for the characters, it's going to be pretty monotone. I don't know if I want to do black. I might try to do like dark brown or something for them because I feel like that's more on brand for the time. Or maybe I'll do like a charcoal gray. I have like a little gremlin up here. Like something very 70s for the background. Like I was thinking about doing like a burnt orange and like a mustardy color. And maybe like a mossy green kind of. Or maybe the burnt orange and the mustard and like a teal or something. I feel like those are very 70s. And also those align with a lot of the colors for the promotional material I've seen for the show so far. I used some reference pictures that were like screen caps that they've shown from the show for all of these characters. This is Daisy, that's Billy, Karen, Warren, and I don't know who this is supposed to be. I'm so excited for the show. It's been a little bit and I fixed the type on the page and I really like it. Now I'm gonna show you. Here it is. I feel like it does look like the logo of the band. I'll put the band logo here so you can compare. I think it looks super cute. I am a little concerned about the placement of this ampersand because I don't know if it looks like it says March and Rock Roll or March Rock and Roll or March and Rock and Roll, but whatever. I don't really care. I feel like it looks cool. And now I think I'm gonna try and figure out a color palette. I said before these people will be in like a dark chocolatey brown probably, and then the background I want to do maybe kind of like a sunset stripes kind of thing in those colors I said earlier, like orange and yellow and teal and green maybe. And then I kind of want these letters to be like white or like off-white maybe. I can also see it looking good just as brown also, so I'm gonna try and pick out some marker colors now. I always do this where I pull out like my last year's journal to test out the colors that I'm trying to pick, just so that I don't waste any of the pages in my current journal. And since I didn't really use all of the pages in this one anyway, it doesn't matter. So I have this goldy mustardy color. It's pretty good. Oh, okay, that's not the one that I wanted. I think this is the one that I wanted. I feel like I don't have the right shade of orange though. I also like this blue because on the album cover, so with the show, in tandem with the show, they're releasing an album, which is like the album that they talk about in the book, which is so freaking cool. I can't believe they've gone that in depth, and it's like actually the actors from the show singing the songs and stuff. It's against this really pretty pale blue sky, so I feel like this could be cool. No, I'm so indecisive. Okay, but now if I do that pink, I like that green. Oh wait, no I don't. How do we like these? Okay, oh, I have this like muted orange. Okay, I think these are the colors that we're gonna go for. Okay, the quality looks a little bit different. I just switched back to my like nice camera. I'm gonna try and start out on doing the actual figures first. So I have my reference photos that I used for each character up on the computer. I'm just going to look at that and that Fleetwood Mac picture that I pulled out and really just try and emulate those shapes in each of these characters. I don't want it to be perfect. I'm trying not to put too much pressure on myself, especially because this is a style that I don't do very often, but we're just gonna have fun and see what happens. Woo! I'm nervous. Can you see little Warren in there? I hope you can. Just stop hesitating and just try. and I just went away with that brown marker and pretty much just went to town. So I was thinking a good tip if you need help trying to do something like this would be what I talked about in my last month's plan with me. So during February, I was using these reference photos of my own face to do some drawings, and I took all of those pictures into Photoshop and I used the posterize filter on Photoshop, and that really helped me to really identify like the major shapes in the image. So if you need a little help doing that, I feel like that's a really great resource to do if you really need to like dumb an image down into like 2 main colors or a few more than that. I didn't do that for this one, but I think that that would be really helpful if you need help practicing with that. But I feel like the way that this came out looks really cool. I wanted all of those larger brown shapes, like their clothing and stuff, to really morph into one another, which I feel like they do in that original Fleetwood Mac picture. So I was really trying to make sure that those shapes kind of blended together really well. And I had a lot of fun doing the hair. I love especially the characters with lighter hair like Karen and that unnamed guitarist whose name I still haven't looked up. I feel like that kind of like stringy hair is so fun to draw, and I've done that a couple times in several different illustrations. But I also really like this little star pattern that I added onto Daisy's outfit, which she didn't have in the original picture, but I just did it for fun because it looks cute. Hey guys, it's the next day. I had planned on working on this for a while last night, but I laid down at like midnight last night just with the intent of like taking a 10-minute break and then working on it again, and then I fell asleep, and then I stayed asleep for like the whole night. So this is what we had from last night. I really love it. I think it looks so cool. I know I want to incorporate a lot more color into the background with those colors that we picked last night, but I can't decide in what capacity I want to do that. So I had the idea to do these like kind of stripy things that go all the way up, maybe like a sunset or a sunrise kind of thing. I think that would be cool, but I don't know if I want it to go through their bodies or if I want their bodies to stay like brown and white. Or my other idea, I had this kind of like halo sun shape around Daisy's head, and I was thinking about doing concentric circles that go out from her head because she's like the star of the book. Okay, and if you can't tell from right here, I decided to do the sunset stripes thing. After I did this, I realized it kind of looks like the outside of like a Winnebago or like a van or something, which I feel like is also very 70s. But I really like how it turned out. I didn't really plan out the colors that I was going to do on each line. I just kind of tried to stagger them so that they faded into one another. But yeah, and I also did like a little slight outline around each of the characters so that they wouldn't get too muddled together. And then instead of doing those letters in like dark brown or leaving them white, like I said I was going to do earlier, I decided to use a gold gel pen because everyone loves a good gel pen moment. It's super metallic and shiny. You'll see in some of the later clips. It looks really cool because it can look really dark with a lot of contrast, but it can also really shine. I used the Sakura Jelly Roll pens, and this was so fun to do. It's so satisfying to draw with the Jelly Roll pens too, because they're so like liquidy and juicy to write with. If you know what I mean, I guess. Oh my god, I finished it. I finished the divider. Really love it. Let me show you like in the better lighting because it'll be nicer to look at. Oh my god! It looks so cool. I really like it. I added this gold like sun halo around Daisy's head, and I like that it's like really light and then dark. That's like one of the cool things about using gel, like metallic gel pens. They look so cool. And now I'm just gonna work on these little things. I'll probably film doing this illustration, but I'm just gonna probably go and do my little calendar and have a tracker and stuff off camera. Okay, it's been a little bit. I had to let my camera charge for a while, and while I was waiting, I did this little sketch for the illustration that I do next to my calendar. I think it's so cute. So if you haven't read the book, or I guess, well, I don't know if the show has come out by the time I post this, but basically, if you haven't seen it or know the story, basically the book and the show are about the origins of this band from the 70s. One of the big plot points in the book is that they go on this awesome tour together called the Aurora World Tour. Dear God. So I thought it would be cool to do like a band poster kind of thing here. So I'm doing that same technique that I did for the divider which was that all black and white design. I thought it'd be cool to try it with this really dark teal green color, which I really like. So I just started working on their bodies and stuff, and we're just gonna have some fun over here. I like to save this page to just like, you know, experiment and have fun and try whatever. I think I'm gonna use some more of that gold gel pen for the lettering, and then we'll see. And this is me finishing that illustration. I had so much fun doing this illustration. I really love doing posters, especially like music band related posters. They're like one of my favorite things to illustrate. And you know, I had so much fun going back in with that gel pen. And then here is all that gel pen finished, and I love it, and you'll see the final thing in just a few seconds. Hey guys, it's the next day. I kind of stopped filming last night because it got really dark, and I knew I wanted to finish it, but it just didn't look very good on camera, so I decided to just finish it off camera. And I was just pretty much doing like the last few pages. It wasn't really interesting anyway, but it's done, and I'm so proud of how it turned out. It looks so sick, and I'm just so excited to see the show and to, you know, just enjoy the story a little bit more. So I'm gonna show you. I hope you guys enjoyed that. I had so much fun doing this spread. This is like a little bit different than something that I would usually do, even though the theming is very on brand for me, like a retro, you know, music related 70s vibe is what I always do. But I'm so happy with how these came out, and I hope you do too. So I'm working on getting a printable version of them up in my Etsy shop, so check back with me on Instagram and on TikTok just to see when those get released. And yeah, and definitely follow me over there when the show comes out. I'm definitely going to be chatting about it on my Instagram story or on TikTok, so follow me over there. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Used to be feared, used to be respected and so cool.